How it doing? What it do? How are you, NASCAR Nation? Welcome to the NASCAR Daily on a beautiful Thursday. It's your boy, Mamba Smith, in the house, and I gotta let you know something. I've been given the keys to Thursday. Thursday is my day. Shout out to my boy, Austin Matthews, for making it happen. I'm excited, and this is what I wanna do every Thursday for y'all. I wanna bring in your favorite personalities in the NASCAR garage. Maybe try to pull in some personalities from outside the NASCAR garage, bring them on the show, interview them, pull the curtain back, let you see who they are as people and their personalities. So, what I want you to do is drop in the comments who you want us to bring on. I'm going to do my damnedest to bring your favorite folks on. So, make sure you do that for me. Now, talking about today, I got a cat to start this thing off that you are going to love. Listen, he's won in the MX5 Cup. He's won on ARCA. He's won in go-karts. He's won in Cars Tour. He's won in IMSA. He won an Xfinity race last year. Now, I know you're thinking, you're like, oh man, who's this guy? This guy must be world renowned, which he is. He must be doing it from all different angles, which he does. He hasn't not won in anything he's driven. He must be like, what, 32, 35? Nah, bro. This cat is 18 years old and he just got his wings from Red Bull. I'm talking about Mr. Connor Zilisch. My man, Connor freaking Zilisch. You're like Billy the Kid. You have this aura about you around motorsports, around the racetrack now. Do you know that? Have you realized that yet?
Man, I have not. To me, I'm still just an 18-year-old kid that races cars.
I mean, you race them pretty fast. It doesn't matter what it is. I feel like late model stocks, Xfinity cars, sports cars. I mean, go karts. Is there anything you haven't driven yet, or what's the deal?
F1 car, Indy car,
Okay,
those two.
okay.
Bucket list. I'll get there one day, though. Give
Hey,
it time. Give it time.
the way you're going right now, it'll be just fine. Plus, we do know a group. You're wearing the hat that has access to a couple of those open wheel
Yeah.
cars, bro. How cool is it repping Red Bull and being one of the two guys, right? It's you and SVG to bring them back to NASCAR.
Yeah, it's so cool. I remember being a kid and always seeing the Red Bull athletes and thought it was the coolest thing ever, and watching the YouTube videos of the crazy stuff they do. It was never in my wildest dreams that I'd be a Red Bull athlete. So, yeah, definitely a long time dream of mine to be a Red Bull athlete, and yeah, got it at a younger age than I expected it. But it's been super cool just being a part of the brand and meeting all the people, the people who work for Red Bull and with the creative minds, and also the athletes. It's crazy how many people they have at the top of their own individual sports. It's pretty crazy.
So when you're talking about the athletes, like, give me like a couple people that you either have met or like are you looking forward to meeting that's a part of the Red Bull family.
Yeah, people that I've met, I've met cliff divers, a bunch of pro skateboarders, Zion Wright, Ellie
Oh,
Smart,
nice.
a
Oh
bunch
yeah.
of people who are, X Games, crazy, crazy athletes. I went to the F1 race and, obviously Arch Manning is a new Red Bull athlete. Jeremiah
Oh, is he
Smith,
too?
both, yeah, both of those
He's a
guys.
yeah, that boy's a dog. He is a
They
dog.
just got both of those guys just got on the program. So there's so many crazy, athletes that I want to meet, and I'm sure I will at
Yeah.
some point. But it's pretty crazy to be in the same group as those guys. And I often feel like I don't know what I do even compares to these cliff divers and people jumping out of planes. And yeah, it's cool though. It's pretty crazy to meet those people and see what it's like to be at the highest level of their sport.
Yeah, that's so dope. Just being able to be around other professionals that like understand, that athlete mindset or like with me when I'm able to talk to people that are in entertainment and you just kind of talking about stories and you realize that oh, we're actually a lot closer than we are different. We're just doing it in different spaces.
Yeah.
But before we get, completely into this weekend for you and what's to come here at COTA, the first time I did my victory lane interview, it was at Dover last year in the ARCA race, on FS1, and you won the race, okay? And before the race, I was getting my notes ready and talking to you, and I asked you what you thought about it, and you said, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to throw him up on the dash and hold on, bro. That's so great.
Yeah, no, Dover, that place, it was kind of intimidating going there for the first time. Had never been on an oval bigger than a short track. And,
Yeah.
you go to Dover and it's like this high banked concrete 1 mile, probably one of the most gnarly tracks we go to on the schedule. And in practice, I was like lost. I was like, man, I have no clue what I'm doing. I think we qualified like outside the top five. I'm just like, I just got to drive the thing. So yeah, I started the race and I was just like, you know what? No matter what happens, I'm just gonna, put this thing to the limit. And we did that and ended up somehow winning. I did have some drama to get there with the
A
Gibbs
little
car,
bit, a little
but
bit.
still won the race. So that's the most important thing. They don't ask how, they ask how many. So
Ooh,
yeah, yeah.
put that's a bar. They don't ask how, they ask
Yeah.
how many.
Yeah,
All right,
so
I'm gonna have to
that was
remember
cool,
that.
and to go and win my first ARCA race there at a track like that started the season off right.
Yeah, for sure. Now we're turning the page. It's a new year. You have some new things. You're obviously going for Sunoco Rookie of the Year in the Xfinity Series. So a little behind on that right now, but we're gonna work. We'll deal with that
Yeah, I
later
got
on.
time.
We'll work
31
our way back
races.
up there. Yeah, that's a long season. But COTA. So last year at COTA, you broke the record in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series for the fastest lap during qualifying. That was insane. It was one of those moments. I was in the media center and everybody was just like in awe about what was going on. And your face in the media center when you're doing your interviews, you were like, wasn't the plan. Like this wasn't expected. I just drove the truck and this is what happened.
Yeah, no, I mean that was true. It was I went in with no expectations, similar to my Xfinity debut, and um yeah, it kind of blew myself away with how it went. And obviously I made way too many mistakes in that truck race, but redeemed myself at Watkins Glen in the Xfinity race later on in the year. And yeah, same thing this weekend. Go in with no expectations, try to have fun, enjoy it. You only get to, make your debut in the Cup Series one time, so just want to, have fun, soak it all in, and just enjoy it. That's the biggest thing. Is, you can put a lot of pressure on yourself and get nervous and lead to mistakes, but just gotta soak in the moment.
Yeah, man, I think that's a really good way to do it because to your point, you only get to have your first start obviously once at this level and it is with Red Bull. So being it your first start and you get the Red Bull colors back, bro, it's a big deal. Like have you thought how you're going to feel or has it sunk in yet of the gravity of what you're really about to accomplish?
Man, I it's hard to say. I mean, I'm sure, when I'm sitting on the grid or sitting in the driver's meeting with all those other guys, it's going to be, a bigger moment for me. But, it's the only thing I've been able to think about for the last 4 or 5 days after Atlanta is just, I can't believe that this is actually happening this week. And I remember 2 years ago when me and Josh Wise were sitting down and he was kind of setting up a plan for what he wanted me to do for the next two to 3 years. And in 2025, making my cup debut was on that list, and I was like, man, that's never gonna happen. Like that's way too
Right.
soon.
Right.
And now it's race week, and I'm like, it's actually happening. So yeah, it's pretty cool to make it all come true, and I'm excited to see what it's all about. Racing on Sundays. I hear all about it all the time, and I'm excited to kind of get my feet wet with it this weekend.
Listen, man, no pressure, but on the Kevin Harvick Happy Hour podcast, you're my race pick for this
Oh,
week.
oh, let's
And
go.
look,
I got you.
look, yeah, here's the thing. We have the way we do the points on there. I just need like a good top 10 so I
All
can
right.
collect points. You
I
know what
need
I
a good
mean?
top 10 too. No mistakes, clean day. I got you.
So is that the goal? Do you have a goal set for the weekend? I'm sure it's make sure you complete all the laps, finish on the lead lap, all that stuff. But do you have a finishing position goal or what's your mindset?
I wouldn't say I have a finishing position goal. It's so tough. For me as a driver, I never try and set a finishing position goal because
Yeah.
as the driver, you're only a piece of the puzzle, and it's tough to put that pressure on not only yourself but your team. And going into this weekend, my goal is to not get any penalties, not speed on pit road, not get put myself in any bad spots on restarts and get damage or spin out, something like that. Try and stay out of chaos and just have a quiet, clean day. And hopefully by the end of the race, I'll be comfortable enough and gotten up to speed in the car where, I feel like we'll be able to have a good run. So, yeah, I'm just going to take it easy as possible, not let any pressure get to me, just go out and, run the laps and hopefully by the end of it, we're in a good spot.
Can you, real quick, for the folks listening to the NASCAR Daily, can you explain the intricacies and how important the thing that you just said was? Don't speed on pit road. Don't have the small penalties. Make sure you're getting into your pit. All those little things, I think they kind of go overlooked, but it does affect the cause and effect of those things are massive.
Yeah, I mean, one pit road penalty, can end your day and will end your day. You lose 35 seconds, driving through pit road and making a pit stop. So, the time that you lose in that is so hard to make up. And I've learned that the hard way and have kind of learned to understand the reason why it's so, kind of talked about so much is, just making those small mistakes can make such a big impact. And going into this weekend, especially on Sundays, right? On Sundays, everybody is close to perfect, right? The small things are what win people races. So I'm going to try and do all those small things and not make any rookie mistakes. And hopefully, if we can do that, the speed will be there and we'll be able to run up front.
The your career, I think a good comparison to it is similar to like maybe a LaMelo Ball or a Luka Doncic, which is like they were so young and racing professional and at a very high level overseas, and then they come back to or they come to America and they're racing or doing their sports at a high level now. Even though they're so young, they've been a pro for a minute. I feel like there's a lot of that with you. Do you think that racing overseas and at a level like that has given you a little bit more of an edge or just made it more comfortable to jump into a Cup Series race?
Yeah, I feel like for me, racing in so many big races across the world has definitely made this moment seem maybe not as big as people may think it is.
The
Obviously,
lights
it's a
aren't as
big.
bright, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
a big moment,
exactly.
but the
Yeah,
lights
no,
aren't as
I've been
bright.
in situations, never have I raced in the Cup Series, right? The Cup Series is a different level, but I've been in big races before and racing in the 24 Hours of Daytona and big races that, there's big spotlights and you're on a big stage and this weekend's going to be a different level, but I feel like I've kind of gotten used to that feeling and especially going to Europe and traveling over there and racing at the highest level and overseas. I grew up really fast over there, and I learned to lose, and I learned the hard days of this sport. You're going to win a lot more than you're going to lose, and I learned to understand that at a young age, which really helped me and allowed me to grow and learn faster. Because until you learn to lose, this sport can be really tough. So. I feel like I'm already kind of ahead of the curve on that, but at the same time, I don't know what to expect, going into this weekend and racing on Sundays, right? It's a
Right.
new thing for me. So I could be saying something and it could be completely wrong right now. But I feel personally that, I'm ready for it and it's not going to be too big of a stage.
Now, getting prepared for it, are there any drivers, anybody in the garage that you kind of are leaning on more than others? I mean, it's easy to point at, as Shane because you guys are teammates, so that makes sense. But is there anyone else that you're kind of leaning on to get ready for this big race?
Yeah, I think the biggest would be all my teammates. I feel that Ross I've talked to a lot and we were in the sim together, all four of us the other day, and I was just asking questions that maybe seem dumb because there are dumb questions to ask for me, right? There's things I don't know that may seem silly, but for me it's the things I need to know. So they've all been super helpful and have helped me kind of get comfortable and I feel like I'm to a point now where, I'm ready to show up on Saturday and practice. And, I feel like I'm in a good spot to be as prepared as possible. But yeah, my teammates have been such a big help. Obviously, Shane, he's such a good road racer. And, I raced with him in the 24 Hours of Daytona and learned a lot from him there. And, I feel like we're gotten to a point where we're pretty good friends, and I can ask him just about anything, and he's honest with me. So I'm excited to see how all of us do this weekend. The Trackhouse cars were fast at Watkins Glen last year, and I feel like at COTA they've always succeeded. Ross won the first year there in 2022, and I feel like we're gonna have a good weekend.
I can't let you go without asking about your relationship with some of the boys in the garage. You and Jesse Love are hilarious, bro. You guys are so funny together. It reminds me of that same relationship of like Bubba and Blaney and Chase Elliott. How important is it? Obviously you're competitors. You guys are gonna race really hard, but to have a friend that you're also competing with, iron sharpens iron type of situation.
Yeah, that is very true. We push each other a lot, and we're super competitive, even if we may not admit it. But for me as an 18-year-old, it's really tough for me to relate to kids my age, right? Nobody.
Yeah.
It's very rare that there's an 18-year-old who's kind of taken on a professional career and really busy, and every day is full of meetings, and it's a different lifestyle, and kids my age find it hard to understand. So that's kind of where Jesse and I can relate, and we relate on a lot of things, our music taste, and the video games we play. It's everything, right? So it's good to have someone like that I can lean on and push, and we push each other to be better. So yeah, I'm glad that him and I get along, and when the helmets go on, it's a different story, right? We're not friends anymore, but as soon as we take them off, we can and laugh and joke about what happened on the track, and it's good to have someone like that because in this sport you're going to be both of us are hopefully going to be around for a while, and it's important to have friends that you can lean on and joke with and have fun with away from the racetrack.
I'm gonna try and get him on the NASCAR Daily before this season is over because I know he's gonna have some big time wins throughout this year. So I want to know one thing about Jesse Love that most people probably wouldn't know.
Oh, that's a good one. I'd say about Jesse that most people don't know is um, him moving to North Carolina. Like his family lived in California, right? For me, I grew up in Charlotte,
Mhm.
and I lived here, with my parents, and I still live with my parents. This is my parents' house that I'm in right now. But Jesse moved here when he was 15 or 16 alone. And I feel like it's crazy to me because I don't know what I would do if I didn't have my mom to change my sheets on my bed, and I still do my laundry, but cooking meals for me and stuff like that. As I've grown up, I've gotten better at those things, but man, me 3 years ago, I'd struggle to do that stuff on my own. So yeah, I think it's pretty crazy that he kind of gave up on life in California and moved away from his family to pursue a career in racing, and I respect him for it.
Listen, man, I respect you so much. Thank you for coming on the NASCAR Daily with us. Connor Zilisch, Sunoco Rookie of the Year contender in the Xfinity Series, making his Cup Series debut at COTA. Good luck this weekend, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate.
Great conversation with the young buck Connor Zilisch. Looking forward to seeing what he can do this weekend, not only in his Xfinity Series race, but in his NASCAR Cup Series debut. Now, remember, drop me in the comments who you want me to bring on the show. Fill it up. I want to see, I want to know what you guys want because I want to bring you exactly what that is. Don't forget, Alex Weaver will be on tomorrow giving you the tune ins and how to catch all the action for the weekend. That's Mamba Smith. Peace.